Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto. Hope all is well with you and yours. So, a few things going on in the news. We have MTG DAO um, being sued or being threatened by Magic the Gathering. We've got a bunch of whales really buying in on SHIB. Just want to touch base on the Coinbase ad. Eh. Um, and we have Rafael Cruz going after Elizabeth Warren. All right, let's start from the top. So, Magic the Gathering used to be a popular game that, a few people used to play. Um, Great, cool. This all goes to the IP conversation I was having with Nike going after StockX. You have a number of IP things going on with brands going after companies to try to control their brand within the metaverse. Um, This one seems a little tough to prove. No likeness is being used with Magic the Gathering, so this seems to me something like we've got a lot of money and you don't, so we're going to sue you. That's what it seems like to me. I'd like to see how that plays out. I'm still interested in seeing how Nike plays out against StockX because it seems like StockX is saying, well, we have images to show that we're holding something in our vault that somebody actually owns. Think of it as, a safety deposit box that's being held, and the key can be transferred. The key being the NFT can be transferred to another person, and now that person owns what's in the vault, and they can come get it, or we can send it. They can send it to them. Um, so I don't know. Nike might have a case. They control the brand. They're probably taking some kind of idea that it could be confusion. But I think it's another intellectual property case that's going to be quite interesting to watch play out because of how brands are going after trying to control their intellectual property or what they deem to be their intellectual property within the metaverse. So I don't know. I don't know how that one's going to play out because that's kind of like saying the secondary market that's always been there in Nike's case with the shoes shouldn't exist. So it's going to be if they're going after the use of their likeness, well, the likeness of the shoe that's being held in the vault, or are they using stock photos? Like, what are they going after? Because I would think that they would have to go after the photographers who took pictures before of other things, selling things. I would think that it would also bring in somebody like an eBay where they also sell used items. I mean, I think it would just bring in like so many entities into it. I mean, there just all kinds of rights go on with that one. So it's going to be interesting to watch that one play out. I don't think it's as cut and dry for either side. StockX could be using their likeness. StockX could be talking about selling brand new sneakers. Don't know, but I really want to see that one actually play out and see some more details fall out from that. I think that would be very interesting. But that said, there's going to be more litigation within the metaverse or, around the use of the metaverse and what's being done in it. And it's going to set precedent and it could have, long lasting effects and actually reach into, the real world, right? Uh, take Nike again saying that, hey, you're using our likeness. Does that kill the secondary market in the real world? Like, I'm selling this old, this used shoe and, you know, this person wants to buy it. Does that close that down? All of the expos that happen with, used, with, secondhand market goods. So that I just want to see it play out. And I think it's going to bring a lot of clarity as these cases move forward. Because that's going to be really interesting. You've got a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of whales, huge whales, spending big money. I'm talking like what is it, $2.8 billion accumulated in SHIB, and one major whale buying 4.3 million on his or her own. Um, just who knows something that we don't? Just looking at the idea of somebody, snatching up that much SHIB just makes you stop and wonder what do they know that we don't, or what is their belief is that's going to happen in the case of SHIB. Buying that much SHIB, a small move can make a lot of money. So that kind of makes sense, right? So if SHIB goes up, a few more hairs of a penny, buying that much SHIB could actually mean a lot of money for somebody. So that's just a wow moment for me. But it also says that there's huge positive thinking with regard to cryptocurrency around the world, in my humble opinion. Um, just to touch on the ads, I thought they were pretty lame. Maybe it's me, maybe it's my age, I don't know, but I thought they were really freaking lame. The one with the bouncing QR code, I'm sure it was a success. I'm sure, what was it? They had like 20 million people take part in that. Maybe they didn't have anything. They just had the QR code because what they wanted to do was control how many people would hit their servers at that time. So hats off, but I didn't get it, and I wasn't going to whip out my phone not knowing what it was. So yeah, good luck to that. Um, $15 a BTC. Okay, cool. That's a lot of money to be giving away, but I guess if you're in that space, you've got a lot of money and you can afford to do that, and it brings attention to your platform. I mean, I think that's probably the loudest platform I saw. Really didn't. I was expecting more from crypto.com. Really didn't get it. FTX did a little something, but I didn't get. There was only one ad. My brother and I agreed. We're both old dudes. The one that really got me was, no, I said legendary for Caesars. We just thought that was just awesome. But that was the only memorable ad for me. I mean, I'm sure if somebody said something about one of the ads, I might remember. But off the top of my head memory, that was the one that stuck out to me because it was just awesome. Um, I don't like to use his fake name, so I use his real name, Rafael Cruz. Senator Rafael Cruz is going after Elizabeth Warren for what he is saying is her authoritarian perspective on cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin. Um, a broader picture is I'm wondering if this is going to be the new battleground for Republicans, because as I said the other day, he had just used a brokerage to purchase some Bitcoin. So I'm just wondering if, this is going to be the new battleground. Republicans are going to race and say, oh, crypto's great. And Democrats are saying, no, it's not. I think it's a bipartisan thing. You have bipartisan people saying crypto's good. You have bipartisan people saying crypto's bad. I think they need to do a little bit more research. And I think they need to all take a step back and understand that, let's suppose it's bad. The next question is, can you make it go away? Well, you didn't make it go away with Silk Road, right? You made Silk Road go away, but you didn't really make the way that they maneuvered things go away. So I don't know that they're going to make cryptocurrency go away. So if you're not going to make it go away, then how do you control what you didn't want to have to control? Or what can you do to at least regulate what it is that you're doing? I mean, right now you have the United States government going after, I said the other day, BlockFi. It turns out that now BlockFi is not going to be able to sell any new accounts, any new interest-bearing accounts like that. So that's going to be a big deal, at least in the United States, right? So it sounds like the United States is shutting down on things, on that perspective. Why is that? Well, it takes a piece away from the banks. Well, that line of thinking would say, well, then we would do the same thing with crypto, except it's really hard to do that with crypto, right? There are too many ways for people to connect to crypto outside of the United States, even though they're in the United States. So how do you do that? Um, I really do think that, governments around the world are going to have to stop and think about, well, can you stop crypto? I don't know about that. Um, I made a joke 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago, something like that, that, it's turning into, Star Wars. Everybody just has credits. There is no country fiat, world fiat. It's just credits. So what does that mean? Is it there's one currency, and it's played out, right? It's played out in the EU, where all those currencies went away and they adopted the euro. So can that work with crypto? I don't know. Could, right? But I think there's a lot more research that has to happen. Everybody planted the seed, about, climate change and all that stuff, and crypto's bad because of climate change. But what are they comparing it to compared to other things? Like, does do credit cards take up more energy? Are they worse for the environment because of the follow-on, electricity, electrical use for all the machines that are crunching credit card data, right? So there are lots of things that would have to go into a more robust review of the use of energy for crypto. I think that the idea is that you can look at crypto and you can say, well, all of those machines, all of that mining that's going on, I can pinpoint to that building and what that building is doing. Yes, but can you look to all these data centers and all these computers that are always crunching credit card data? Everybody forgets about that. So I think there's a lot to go along with it, and I'm not saying that there is no effect on climate change, and I'm not saying there's definitely some kind of effect, but I'm wondering like what's the comparison? I'd love to see those numbers. So if anybody's listening, please do that report, because we would all like to know, truthfully. Um, so though that's what's going on right now. There's a whole bunch of stuff around IP, BlockFi being shut down. Coinbase was a company that was also looking to do what BlockFi was doing, except the U.S. government said, "Don't do that, or we'll sue you." And they said, "Oh, cool, we'll not do that." So there's a lot going on that can affect the crypto space, both positive and negative. Um, Something I wanted to touch on was the idea of, Russia hurrying up to make Bitcoin and other cryptos legal tender. Well, think about that. It's because they'd be able to move money around. They'd be able to move money around the world, especially if nobody knows whose wallet is whose wallet, right? Well, what about other countries that have sanctions against them where they want to skirt those sanctions? Well, there you go. I mean, North Korea is using stolen Bitcoin to finance their missile program. What about other nations that might be, using crypto to otherwise skirt around the economic sanctions that are being held against them? That's that's a lot to think about, and that's something to contemplate as some countries adopt and some countries don't, right? And why are they adopting? Is it because they want to protect their people, or is it that they want to protect the people that actually have money? Because obviously, not everybody that's holding crypto is of money. So that's something to think about right there. But there's a lot going on in that space, and I think we should pay attention to both positives and negatives that can affect the market. There are macro events, there are micro events, and we should do our own research. Always do your own research and see how do you feel about the news that you're seeing and where things are going. So for instance, right now, Bitcoin is, not where it was, a few days ago. I thought the Super Bowl yesterday would give a nice little pop to things, and it hasn't. As a matter of fact, let's move over to the numbers so we can actually start to see things. So as we look at things right now, um, you've got winners beating losers, but we're still not doing well with regard to where crypto is. Let's just take a quick look and see who's over here. Um, Plex minimum, is there anybody here that I would actually be interested in making a purchase? No, there's nobody here in this list on the other side that I'd be interested in making a purchase on, right? Even though you've got a couple, you got one in the top 50, two in the top 50, three in the top 50. But those, I think a couple of those are like Tether. A couple of those are tied to the dollar. So, we're not looking at stable coin. And when you look over here at the winners, you're looking at, is there anything over here that I'd be paying attention to right now? Gala is something I would be paying attention to. It's at 33 cents. That's a big move. That's an 18% move. It's kind of like basically it's saying it's back where it was when I was feeling happy about it. Okay, cool. I mean, not happy, but not sad either. Cadena is up 16%. So you've got some interesting moves that are happening right now. You have Hero that moved, that was a 12% move. So right now you've got, even Avalanche has moved over 9%. So you've got you've got winners beating losers right now. But remember, we were at a reduced price when we started it. So these are nice moves. Don't get me wrong; these are nice moves for right now. But you know, when you look at these moves versus your own portfolio, which is a tool that we're building, it's totally different. So you want to pay attention to your numbers as it pertains to your portfolio. Like, so in the past 24 hours, did this coin compared to your portfolio, did it go up or down? And how much did it go up or down compared to your portfolio strike price, or that coin in your portfolio strike price, right? So you have a stable number looking at where these numbers are falling over 1 hour, 24 hours, so on and so forth. So those are the tools that we're building out now. So we've looked at that, going from 50 to 44 2 days ago to now 46. That's pretty good. That's still pretty good. That means there's not a huge amount of fear. People are just antsy about things, but I think that's still looking toward on the way up, the same way these were looking on the way up. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I don't know if we have a repeat of this one, where we went down a little bit and we came up and we went sideways and we kept going. That's what I'm looking for. Are we going sideways? And right now we're still kind of trading within a certain range, or the cryptocurrencies are moving still within a certain range. They lost the bottom a little bit, but I think they might have come back. So let's take a look to see what that is. Yeah, so now you have crypto, you have BTC that's over 43,000. So it's popped back up. A lot of these folks pop back up. So that's something to look at. They're done, BTC's dominance, or Bitcoin's dominance, is at 42.3%. So that means their dominance in the market is it's 42% of the market. But I think that's actually pretty good. So not a problem. Ethereum is back over 3,000. These are all good numbers. But again, I want to see what that's going to be over the next few days, right? Come on, let's go. Let's just refresh the page just to make sure we're looking at fresh numbers. But it looks like we are. You have Bitcoin at 43,702. I mean, 43,702. I mean, is it fighting to get past 44? Who knows, right? It could. Let's see. Take a little bit of a deep dive. It had almost no volume down here, but volume's starting to pick up, and it's up there. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, the high on the other day was what, 45.5, on the 10th. Not bad. That was that Thursday. So that's not a bad number to be looking at. Our portfolio is still not looking pretty. I mean, SHIB is doing well for us, which is good. Crypto.com doing all right for us, up 7.25%, but we're still waiting on everything else to get better, right? That's what we're really looking for, is to get better. So this is clearly a model for hodling. Just, we got it. We bought in at a certain price. We're not panic selling or doing anything like that. We are paying attention to the news. That's why I have my notes over here and things like that. But you are paying attention to the news. You are doing your own research. You are paying attention to what kind of macro events are happening around the world, such as Russia getting ready to invade Ukraine. I think that's a most likely thing. You have other events around the world that are happening, macro events such as India thinking, nope, crypto's not for us. You have a lot of places saying that, but you also have other countries that are saying, let's regulate and collect the taxes. So these are all things that can happen at a macro level. And then you have things that might happen at a micro level. Let's say a hack happens, or somebody comes out with a new dApp on a particular platform and it starts to move. These are things that you're paying attention to, and you kind of want to stick within your space. Don't go out there buying so many coins, or I would tell you, don't go buying so many coins, because you buy so many coins and you've now spread yourself thin, and it's hard to keep track of everything that's there. That's why, if you notice, this is a pretty tight, I mean, what is it? We got like 15, 10 or 11 coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 coins that we have here. I think that's manageable. I think lower than 20, most likely for me, obviously lower than 15 is a good number of coins to be playing with, because I'm really paying attention to the category that the coin is in, and are they the best in the category, or are they the mover in the category? So I don't have to be the most expensive in the category, but I have to be the one in the category that can get me the most amount of money, the most amount of upside. So if I'm a layer 1 Who am I looking at that's in the layer one space that, I think can make some moves? Um, Matic is the one that I look at as they were a layer two. They're doing a lot of layer one moves. They have a lot of the Web3, Web3 experiences on their chain. So that's what I'm looking at. Who's a layer one? Like Ethereum is a layer one, but who's a layer one that's making noise? Keeping an eye on SHIB, because SHIB is making moves that says we're not a meme coin, we're a real coin. So, Algo is another one that's making noise. So who's doing what? What's my potential upside? How much can I buy? So Saitama coin, that's my pipe dream, right? Because if they do anything, we've got 3 billion, almost 4 billion shares sitting there. So, if it shaves a zero, who's going to be smiling? This guy, right? Um, but we have, 70 million shares of SHIB. Is that a lot? Not really. It's not a lot, but shave a zero, that can make us happy. You shave a zero, okay, that's 20. I'm looking at 20,000 then instead of 2,000. So, but again, it goes back to what's your perspective on purchasing coins, right? Um, Am I going to make money on Bitcoin? Yes, I'm going to make money with Bitcoin. Am I going to make money with Ethereum? Yes, I'm going to make money with Ethereum. But again, the amount of money that I'm going to make with Ethereum, which is a layer one, versus let's say, a Matic. Well, Matic's cheaper. I'm going to make more money with Matic because Ethereum is a few $1,000s. What are the chances of Ethereum doubling right now? Maybe they're high, but it's not going to double in the next 6 months. I don't think so. I mean, truthfully, it could, but I don't think so. But even then, it's a stretch. It's only doubling. I know I say only doubling like it's nothing, but it's only doubling. Whereas Matic, can it see $4? Easily it can see $4, right? Easily it can see $4. Its all-time high was 292. Do I think it can go from a buck 72 to 292? Oh yeah, I think so. Do I think it can see $4? Yeah, I think so. Because it's the connective tissue. It's part of the backbone of Web3. So I think it can do a lot. But this is my perspective when I'm reviewing coins. I take a deep dive into the website. I take a deep dive into the projects that are running on it. I take a deep dive into any kind of chatter that I'm seeing about it. Is it positive? Is it negative? Who's chattering? Who are they in bed with? Who are they doing business with? Who's on their platform leveraging it? Um, I was hot for Ripple when I first heard about it. Ripple's got this big SEC problem. Is that going to go away? I think it's going to wind up being favorable for them, but is it going to go away soon? No, it's not going away soon. The SEC is digging in their heels. So if they dig in their heels, Ripple's going to be in for a ride for a while. I just think that while the SEC is digging in their heels over here with Ripple, they're not really paying attention to the whole space of what they should be doing. And that could be a long-term problem. So I'm just paying attention to who's making moves, what kind of moves they're making. Do I think that there's some longevity to what they're doing, or trying to pinpoint? I think that'll work, but I think it'll only work for the next 1-2 years. Let's pay attention to what's going on, but do your own research. Pretty soon we'll have a website up and you can come have a conversation. But if you got questions, how about you hit the like button, subscribe, leave me a comment, ask me a question like Amber did the other day, and we'll go back and we'll do some research and I'll answer the question on video. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you have a great night. Sorry I missed yesterday, but I just wanted to hang out with my family yesterday and just chill. Just enjoy the game, eat food, get fat, just relax. But I'm back today and I'll be back tomorrow. Eddie J on Crypto. See you later, everybody.